Welcome back to another fantastic property tour, Rankin family. Today, we are back again in Dallas, Texas, looking at another gorgeous luxury home. And as always, I want to give a huge thank you to the listing agent, Daniel Arbell with Douglas Element Real Estate, for making this tour possible. I'll be sure to leave all of the information in the description below. Now, starting on the exterior, family, we do have that modern look, and I'm so excited to tour this one together. You have the brick, stucco, and limestone combination. Right over there, you have a long driveway leading you to your 3-car garage. It does have wooden garage doors as well, which that's always a neat touch. As we do continue, you have the concrete walkway, but look at this. You have this additional sitting area so you can take advantage of the sun, get some vitamin D, and relax. Beautiful. And then, of course, right there too. So as we continue, you see the limestone extends in the covered front porch. You do have that wood soffit and the double front doors with the glass panes and grids inside. Perfect. And then I'll show you the full space here. So a ton of room. Wait till we get to the backyard too. You have some additional space, but without further ado, let's go ahead and get you inside. Okay, look how warm and inviting this looks. I'll pan you upwards. Look at the gold light fixture. You see the arch opening leading you straight there. Now I'll pan you downwards. You have the white oak floors in the parquet pattern. And then let me show you the front door from the inside. Beautiful. So we'll make our way around. I'm going to show you first and foremost right over here. So you have a storage closet underneath the staircase that wraps around that way. So an abundance of space to store anything you need. And look at this. So this is our first bedroom. It is staged as a study, just to give you an idea. You have floor to ceiling windows with the arch. You see right above here that floating ceiling design with cove lighting. And extremely spacious. Okay, so the space that you have, you can imagine fitting a queen bed set in here, possibly even a king, depending if you plan to have, guests living in here for an extended period of time. Decent sized walk-in closet. You already have built-ins. And the home is listed at the time of this recording for just under 2.9 million. So I'll let you be the judge at the end if you find value. I certainly do. So you have the 0 threshold. Look at the checkered tiling that extends in there. You got an oversized shower niche. You got chrome fixtures. And then you have a shared bathroom. Okay, so you have the quartz here. Look how beautiful the white oak cabinetry is. You'll see that complementing as we continue the rest of the tour. Okay, so my favorite feature in the entire house has to be this dining area. Look at this. You have the Venetian plaster wall right there. You see the double-sided fireplace. Your arch leading you into your temperature-controlled wine room. So if that doesn't scream elegance, I really don't know what does. Perfect, extremely cozy and intimate. Look at the amount of wine bottles that you can store in here. And like I talk about, I know I get comments here and there that say, hey, I'm not a wine drinker, but I mean, have it in your house. You really won't be mad. Okay, so now heading inside of the great room, you can see the second level here. Look at this side of the fireplace. That extends all the way up to the ceiling. Really neat touch, adds a ton of character. So you have your built-ins right there to the right, your additional cabinetry, shaker style with that brass. Wow, very interactive and open. So right to the right, look at the wet bar. You have the Taj Mahal quartzite counters and backsplash. You notice some champagne bronze fixtures throughout the home. You have the privacy glass inside of the cabinet fronts, and that extends to the kitchen too. So a nice little casual area here that you can take advantage of. But as always, the possibilities are endless. Now, look at this kitchen, family. And if you don't know how to cook, This kitchen makes you want to learn. All right, so you have your panel ready refrigerator, stacked cabinets right above there. Look at the way that complements that vent hood. Beautiful accents. You see the ledge, the Taj Mahal quartzite backsplash, and then a champagne bronze pot filler right there, family. Wow. So here you do have the 8 burners. I know some folks may opt for, the griddle or love the griddle in that instance, but you have the seamless sink too, plenty of counter space for your island. Look at the accent right around here too. Beautiful. So heading right back here, look at the breakfast nook. Floor to ceiling windows. You see that door leading you to the side yard, but extremely spacious and beautiful. Okay, so now you've seen that. Let's go ahead and open up some of these drawers for you. You have two-tone cabinetry. Look how soft. The designer did a fantastic job. I made sure to link all their information in the description too, so that way you can check it out. Panel ready dishwasher. You got a Wolf built-in microwave and a huge refrigerator. Beautiful. So sub-zero, even some additional cabinetry right up here. And all soft closing. Now, as we continue around the corner, family, you do have a pocket door separating this area. This is leading you straight back there to your garage. Look at the mudroom. Look how seamless this is. Amazing. So even as I pan you around here, you see the arch feature again, the soft color palette, and the white oak floors. Now, as I pan you around here, family, look at this. You got the perfect prep kitchen. You got quartz counters, the shaker style cabinets, some of that gold in here for the accents. Your secondary refrigerator over here, perfect to prep anything that you need. Love when I see all the shelving that you get to take advantage of. Got your built-in sink, a lot going on, and I love it. So right here you have the 2-car garage, and right to the left you're going to have the single car garage. So I'll show you this. You have epoxy flooring, you see the arch windows, and then you even have a motor court to park any additional vehicles. Look at that. Got your 2 tankless water heaters, endless hot water. I talked about that a couple times before. And that'll lead you right out there. As always, we'll see the backyard at the end of the tour. Hopefully you like the way that flows. All right, family, we still have a lot to cover. Hopefully you are enjoying this so far. And I hope you love the staging. Now you can head right back out there. You have the bifold iron doors. You see the double-sided outdoor fireplace. Like I mentioned, we'll get out there later on. But this is leading you to the primary suite. You see the double doors. We'll start right here to the right and work our way around. Incredible. I'll pan you upwards. Look at the floating ceiling with the cove lighting, your king size bed. You see your 2 nightstands. You also have the dresser over here, your sitting area, massive windows overlooking the backyard. This door leading you right out here, family, too. So remember, you have that space in the front of the property, but if you want a little bit more privacy, you head right back out here. Exquisite. Not to mention you have the iron doors back here too. Okay, so we'll go right around this corner. So I'm going to show you right here to the left first. You have your slot for Stackable washer and dryer. So look how hidden that is. Sometimes you see it inside of the primary closet. It's situated right there, so they took that back this way. And look at this, family. As soon as you enter, it feels like a spa. So you have natural countertops, dual sinks, that champagne bronze, the white oak cabinetry. Look how seamless that looks too. The gold mirror frame and sconces. And look at the texture on the wall. Beautiful. So you got a freestanding tub. And then look at this walk-in shower. My absolute favorite is zero threshold. You have the shower bench. Look at the shower wand. And then the 2 shower heads right above there. But look at the floating ceiling back here too, family. You don't see that often inside of a walk-in shower. So they are definitely pushing the boundaries. Water closet right there to the left. And our primary closet is around the corner here. Love it. So you have the closet island. Look at the glass panes on the top right here. Perfect to showcase your accessories. All the seamless cabinetry on top as well. Even right around this corner. And that's not all, folks. It extends around here. Look how elegant that looks. Feels like a showcase. You have open shelving right up here. Look at your rods and then all the additional storage that you get. Beautiful. And always a huge fan of the LED strips illuminating your wardrobe. Beautiful. Okay, so that about covers the first level. Let's go ahead and get you to the second level. You can see the exercise room. They already have a Peloton in there. So just give you an idea what you could do. Now, you have this huge window as you're going up the stairs, bringing in a ton of light. The white oak floors here, zero carpet. You have the staircase lighting. Incredible. So here's our next bedroom. Every bedroom has an ensuite, so that always is a plus. Look how huge this room is. Got your walk-in closet, built-ins, built-in drawers down there too. And then here's your ensuite. Even the fluted accent. You have quartz counters and the beautiful mirror frame too. So all the wires are ready to go. You're going to notice a ton of storage inside of this particular property. So you have a storage closet here, and then that's going to lead you to the attic space too, right over here. All spray foam insulation, top of the line HVAC system. So no expense was spared. So you got this massive hallway leading you right there. We'll start right over here to the left and work our way around. I'll show you the great room before we continue. Beautiful. Right here to the left, you got your powder bath. So you see the similar vanity that we had just seen. So you have the continuity in here, but you have the wooden mirror frame on this side. So like I said, you'll notice that soft color palette throughout. And I love when they add the Venetian plaster. Haven't seen that in a while. I'm a huge fan. Okay, so now heading inside of the laundry room. Look at the quartz counters and backsplash. You have this champagne bronze, look at the herringbone pattern right there. And then the stacked cabinets too. So really for the proximity that you have, the school districts that you're in, the neighborhood that the property is situated, a lot of value I'm seeing. Okay, next bedroom here, queen bed, 2 nightstands. Feels like maybe an 11 by 12 As far as the dimensions are concerned, look at this shower tub combo, but you have the arch feature and you do have the champagne bronze shower head. This is going to be the closet combination. Plenty of drawers to work with. Okay. We'll head around this corner. You'll see the additional bedrooms and just a sneak peek straight ahead over there is your exercise room. So this is a bonus room. So if you wanted to use this as a media room, which I certainly would, just get some shades, block out all the sunlight, create that movie experience. But maybe some folks may want to use this as other things. You know, the possibilities are endless as I talk about. Look as I pan you upwards, that floating ceiling design. And then you have some built-in cabinetry. So let me know what you would use this particular space as. Maybe a game room or something like that. All right, next bedroom, similar in dimensions as the previous one, but it does have an ensuite. And it's so interesting, you know, when we tour these luxury properties, as I'm, you know, making my way around, I already have in my head what some of the feedback is going to be, right? So I know a couple times we'll see a luxury home, especially over 2 million sometimes. And when there's carpet in there, it's a no-go, you know? I have to still showcase it so that way you can see the true beauty, the floor plan, the layout. But I already know how you feel about that. So luckily, zero carpet in here. Plenty of storage, even back here. So you have a storage closet. Again, you never know when you need to store anything, right? You can never have too many. And then on this side, most likely, you know, you have your electrical panel right there. Put your network cabinet back there too. And look at this, family. So you have all the sunlight that you can imagine, perfect for a morning workout. You got right here, get on that Peloton. You got a storage closet over here too. But a ton of space to work with. Maybe if you're not a fan of the Peloton, get you, you know, a nice treadmill. You know, they start to have the ones with the TVs in there. You can connect it and Bluetooth, and, you know, it gets fancier and fancier by the day, especially with AI coming up, you know. Maybe they'll eventually do the workouts for us and, you know, you can reap all the benefits. You never know. Okay. So we've seen this second level, seen the first level. Last but certainly not least, let's get you to the backyard so you can see that. And if you haven't, I encourage you to leave some feedback below. You know, I asked that a couple times a video, so hopefully you don't get tired of it. Now, I know some folks prefer the sliding doors, right, inside of the great room, ease of access, but the elegance of a bifold iron door, right? And look how large that is too. So you can open this completely up, still have the indoor-outdoor living, so you don't have to worry about that. Now again, the double-sided fireplace, look at that. So you can hang out right here if it's only a couple of guests that are with you, but if you have the entire family with you, the entire neighborhood, you go ahead and use that area too. You have the limestone for your fireplace around, pan you upwards, you got the wood soffit, you see the heaters, perfect time for it now. And then look at this. You have your outdoor kitchen, look at the vent hood. Really seamless. It's that stucco material. You got your beverage fridge right over here. Open this up. Brand spanking new. And then your Coyote grill. Look at that. Ready to be fired up. But other than that, family, that was another beautiful luxury home tour. All right, Rankin family, that was it for this beautiful luxury home right here in Dallas, Texas. Let me know in the comments what you thought about this particular home. Is this something you could see yourself living in? Would you use that exercise room upstairs? Let me know in the comments below. Of course, if you want more information about this home or any home we showcase, reach out to the information in the description. Consider hitting that subscribe button so you don't miss a tour every single week. And I'll see you folks on the next property tour. Welcome back to another wonderful property tour, Rankin family. Today, we are back again in Nashville, Tennessee, looking at another gorgeous luxury home. And I want to give a huge thank you to the listing agents, Franklin and Lana Parr with the Parr team for making this tour possible. I'll be sure to leave all of the information in the description below. Now, starting on the exterior, family, you see that we have the massive high-pitched roofs. Now, as far as material is concerned, you are going to have the stucco along with the natural stone surrounding the lower exterior. This property is situated on just under an acre. Of course, right ahead, there is a courtyard. And look at this. It is elevated. So this would be your view. A ton of room in the front yard, and then you'll see your backyard retreat. You definitely do not want to miss that a little bit later on. Now you have a long driveway, you have 2 additional parking spaces right here, and you will have a 4-car side loaded garage. Now you have the outdoor gas lanterns as well, and look at this. You can certainly entertain out here, no challenges whatsoever. Now I want to tell you, or at least preface this by saying this is an entertainer's dream. And quite frankly, I feel like that term is thrown around quite a bit in the real estate industry. But once we get inside here and continue our full tour, I think it'll come full circle. Now you do have the cover front porch. The stucco continues this way. And I want to also say they are doing some final touch-ups, but I had to get you in here as soon as possible. Okay, so this is immediately when you walk in. Of course, you got your foyer here, and I'll turn you around so you can see the double front door from the inside. Now you are going to have the white oak ceiling right there, beautiful modern chandelier. And then let's go ahead and continue. Now let's go ahead and make our way around the perimeter of the home. First thing is, this is our powder bath. Beautiful pendant light here. You got your floating vanity, wallpaper surrounding. You got massive baseboards. Then you have the swivel mirror right over there as well. So first time I've seen that in a powder bath. But so far, so good. Now this is going to be our first bedroom, perfect guest suite. As you can see, extremely spacious. You got a queen bed, nightstands right there. You got your massive chair, vaulted ceiling, exposed beams, gorgeous chandelier, and tall windows. And I really want you to pay attention to a lot of the materials, especially once we start heading to the great room and the kitchen, because they left no stone unturned. Now, as far as the designer is concerned, on this particular one, it was Pfeffer Tudor, and I'll leave their information in the description so you can see or check out their portfolio. In the meantime, now heading over here into our ensuite. Look at this. Extremely spacious. You got your modern pendant lights hanging down. This is going to be your walk-in shower with the 0 threshold. And I painted it downward so you can see that. You got your gorgeous floor to ceiling shower surround, champagne bronze as far as the shower head is concerned. And then you have a shower wand, the champagne bronze shower valve, and a shower niche. Now, as I turn you around right over here, you got quartz countertops. You will notice this custom cabinet theme throughout the home. So very fluid, continuing throughout all the additional rooms. And of course, the connecting to our walk-in closet. But I love how airy and roomy it feels. I mean, especially with the vaulted ceilings. Not only are the dimensions perfect in here, but with the increased ceiling height, perfection. Now, before we continue, you got your coat closet right over here. You got your gold knobs. Love that addition. And let's get you inside of here. Oh my goodness. Very cozy and interactive at the same exact time. Now, taking a look right over here, you see that we have our built-ins. You have the reeded cabinet door, Arca-stone fireplace, as you can see, very cozy, but extremely warm at the same time. Then you have your massive sliders leading you out there. You have a pool and spa. We'll get to that a little bit later on. And then there's some additional spaces where you can entertain your guests without any challenges. But this is certainly the epitome of indoor-outdoor living. Of course, you can open those sliders up and have your guests inside and outside, depending on their personal preference. But extremely roomy and spacious. Love the formal dining tucked off right over there, but it's a perfect location without excluding folks from conversations, or, you know, if some folks are in the dining room and some folks are in the great room, you don't really have to worry about, you know, secluded conversations. All right, now heading inside of the kitchen, look at the massive Taj Mahal quartzite countertops. That's a massive slab that they added right there. But then also, and what we are noticing quite a bit now, and that is certainly the trend, is the extended backsplash. Look at that, and that's gonna head all the way to the ceiling right there. And then you can see the Arca-stone as far as the vent hood is concerned. Then you got your massive Wolf range. This is gonna be the 6-burner. And then you have your pot filler. And you know what I say about the pot filler. When it has a pot filler in the home, the rest of the home speaks for itself. So bravo on that. Okay, so one thing I know you certainly can appreciate, right, is the sink not in the island. Perfect location for the sink, overlooking your backyard retreat. Before we continue, let's go ahead and take a look at our drawers. You got the soft closing, then you got additional brass here, and that really complements this light oak cabinetry here. So it's gonna have the shaker style, and then look at these sconces on both sides of the range hood. Beautiful materials, as you can see. Then you're gonna have the pop out outlets right here. You just push it in right there and it pops right out. And that's gonna be all along the counters right over here. So you can hook up any appliances or anything that you need to. And again, like I mentioned, they are doing some final touches on this home, but I had to get you in here as soon as possible. Now, you will notice the stacked cabinetry as well. And then in here, you are gonna have your Sub-Zero panel ready refrigerator and freezer. You got your wine chiller right over here. Can store up to 104 bottles. But it's super sleek, and it's the inset style, the inset cabinetry. So real discreet, that minimal feel. And look at this. I'll open both of them at the same time so you can see. Massive. You will never have to worry about buying that 24 pack or 36 pack of Coke and Diet Coke and Sprite and all that stuff. You can fit all of that in there. Okay, before we continue, let's make sure we don't forget about our formal dining. Look how spacious it is. You see that we have a 6-seater dining table, but an 8-seater would fit in here comfortably without any challenges. You still even have a ton of walk room right over here. All right, so if you haven't let me know, please do let me know your thoughts so far in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Love to hear your feedback. Really means the world to us. And then look at that. Gorgeous light fixtures right above that. First time I've seen that particular style. Now, since it flows extremely well, let's go ahead and take a look at our scullery and then our coffee station right over here. So again, you have that pop-up outlet right over there. You have some additional refrigeration, as you can see over here. Got your ice maker, and then head into your scullery, which is right across. Look how massive this is. So they continued with the Taj Mahal quartzite counters, but then in here, of course, you got your secondary oven and your secondary refrigerator right here. So this is where you're going to spend a lot of your time, probably, or most likely, prepping a lot of your meals, especially if your guests are coming over, right? If they're coming over here and you don't want to make a mess, then you can go ahead and use this, because this is a full secondary kitchen. You even have a dishwasher over here, some more cabinetry and storage available. And this is that sage green color. So really nice color palette inside of this home so far. Okay, so before we do continue, I'll make sure to show you the primary suite, but look at this sunroom here. Flooded with windows, your vaulted ceilings inside of here. And then you will notice that brick flooring. And so this will be the perfect place if you did want to entertain, right? If you have the sliders open over there in the great room, you have the sliders open up in here. And believe it or not, that's a motorized pergola right over there. So you can open and close that as you please, depending on the weather. You wanted some sun or some additional sun, you can head straight out there. And then I should mention too, this scullery has a pocket door. Okay, so now let's go ahead and continue our tour. Don't worry, I'll make sure we see our primary suite in just a second. We're gonna cover the entire first floor before we head to any other floor. Now, if you wanted to use this as a study, this is a perfect cozy study. But then of course, this is a flex room, right? So you can choose to do whatever you please with this one. If you did have the first room that we've seen as a guest suite, then this would be a perfect study right over here. You have an additional flex room upstairs. We'll see that a little bit later on in the tour as well. And then look at this. So you have a side access door right over here. This is going to lead you to your motor court, but then of course our drop zone or mudroom. It looks like we got that shiplap material. You got your built-in bench, herringbone pattern. Add some nice character and the warmth as soon as you enter inside of here. And then that's your 4-car garage. And let me know what you think. I've gotten a lot of positive feedback as far as the glass door or for the garage door, right? So I know some folks love that. It adds that modern contemporary element to the home. You have a dog wash over there too. And like I said, they're finishing up or, you know, doing some minor touch-ups in here too. So certainly giving them grace. Okay, now before we head to any other level, let's go ahead and head to our primary suite. Now this one is gonna have the vaulted ceiling as well, but I think you may love the ceiling inside of here. And then I'll pan you upwards. You see the vaulted ceilings with the oak paneled ceiling. And that's gonna continue right there. So I'm telling you a lot of details in here that really just brings the home full circle. Now you're gonna have a quick access door leading you to your backyard, right? But then look at this. You have that reeded fireplace over here. Then you have the herringbone pattern in your firebox as well. Extremely roomy and spacious. Just for reference, that's a king size bed. You got massive nightstands. You got your dresser over here. White oak floors continues in here. Just all in a great home. Now heading straight over here, right? To the left, which we'll see, massive walk-in closet. Love our built-ins. Floor to ceiling, as you can see, you got a ton of drawers in here. And additional shelving, perfect for any amount of shoes that you can imagine in here. You don't have to worry about fussing and fighting over who, who is gonna get what space. This will certainly accommodate any wardrobe, as I like to say. Now, you see where our stackable washer and dryer would go right over here. So of course, at this price point, that's what you would expect, and most likely that's certainly what you would want. But a ton of space to work with inside of here. And I certainly can appreciate, right? Not only do they have the chrome rods inside of here, but the additional space that you get on the very top. Because some of these homes that we've been in before, and of course I don't knock them because it's such a minor detail, but it is nice to have additional storage on the top for your wardrobe. Okay, so now you see that reeded cabinet door continues this way, and it's all the way from wall to wall right over here. You got your dual sinks, champagne bronze spout and faucet right over there. Gorgeous modern gold pendant lights. Got your gold mirror frame, massive freestanding tub right over here. And the champagne bronze continues this way, and then you have a large walk-in shower. The one thing I can appreciate about it is you do have dual shower heads. If you wanted to have that waterfall shower head as well, you can certainly add that down the road. But just the dual shower head itself, bravo. This one's gonna be the zero threshold as well. You got a ledge, as you can see. Of course, your water closet. So extremely beautiful. And you know, like I always say, a lot of times the video doesn't do it justice as much as you being here physically, you know, because of course you only really have, you know, a couple senses when you're watching it, right? Sight and, you know, hearing. But in here, you can really, just even the smell, you know, they've done a great job of curating the scents. Okay, so let's go ahead and just show you downstairs first and foremost. So like I said earlier in the tour, entertainer's dream, right? But then not only that, this is a fitness enthusiast's dream. Because as you head down here, look at this. So of course you got your basement, right? So over here to the left is gonna be additional storage, right? Unfinished area right over here, as you can see, or possibly can't see. But you got a ton of storage over here, right? But as we continue, you have a full fitness studio, and we'll see that in just a second. And look at this. So this is a full bath, right? But if you are a gym junkie or a fitness junkie, you know, look at this. You have a cold plunge tub ready to go. Like I mentioned, they are doing some touch ups, so they're gonna have that all connected. Don't even worry about that. You have a full shower right over here. And a Sunlight and Amplify infrared sauna. Look at that. So you can go ahead and even if you're not, you know, a health junkie right now, I tell you, you move into one of here or one of these homes or have this inside of your home, you probably will. Just get you some P90X and you are good to go. But you already have your mirrors inside of here. So if you wanted to have some additional equipment inside of here, you can have your full dumbbell set. You can add a Stairmaster, sauna. I'm more of a Stairmaster kind of guy. And the sauna is the second, but really just depends on your personal preference. So I can appreciate that they added that inside of a spec home. And then look at this, perfect to entertain. So let's say you just got your workout done, you took a shower, and your guests are coming over. You bring them down here and you have a great time, just having a good time. Maybe you have that 75 or 85 inch TV over here, watching your favorite shows. You got a wet bar over here, built-in microwave. You could throw in some Orville Redenbacher, I think I pronounced it right, Orville Redenbacher popcorn inside of there, and have you a nice night. You got quartz countertops, floating shelves, beautiful decor, some additional counter space, and your flat panel cabinet doors over here. Okay, I love the massive hallways right over here. So separates you from the chaos upstairs, and you can just head right back down here. All right, so we've seen the basement, we've seen the entire first level. Let's go ahead and take a look at our second level. Now you have 2 bedrooms down here, right? And then the additional 3 upstairs. And again, I said earlier that there is a flex room. So depending if you would plan to use that as a study, then you can go ahead and use this as a children's retreat or something like that. And you know, I always talk about that. Now, straight ahead is going to be the flex room, but this would be your game room or bonus room right over here. So vaulted ceilings inside of here, extremely spacious. That's a half bath right over there to the left. So our second half bath. You got your sconces right over here. And I'll do a full scan of the home or the room itself. So extremely spacious. You can fit a pool table and some chairs up here, a ping pong table. You can fit a lot of things up here inside of this room alone. You got the pocket door separating the half bath. Now this one's neat because downstairs you saw the reeded pattern. This is gonna have that more of that fluted pattern on that floating vanity right there. And then this one's gonna have double pocket doors. And then you're gonna have a second laundry room up here. Like I said, this is our flex room over here. So you can see about the same size as the one that we've seen on the first level. And to be honest with you, especially if you are a large family or you have a ton of family, you know, that live around or close by, is really going to dictate on what you use a lot of this space for. Our second utility room is extremely spacious, as you can see. Look at that. Okay, now our additional 3 bedrooms are down this hallway. So before we continue, you have these little bump outs, little recessed areas over here. Both of them have benches. So I don't know if you want to just hang out there, you know, play hide and seek. That'd be a perfect spot to hide right there. So the dimensions in here, I'll certainly try to find those and add those to the screen. So that way for your reference, you know, without furniture in here, it's always nice to know and you can get a tape measure yourself. But you do have tall baseboards that continues up here. Not as tall as the ones on the first level, but still add some nice character to the home. Now this is the shower tub combo. You got your pendant light hanging down right above your vanity, the herringbone pattern, shower surround inside of here. Then you have a shower niche. And then this one's gonna have a pretty spacious walk-in closet, to be honest with you, you know, almost to the ceiling as far as the shelving is concerned. But the white oak floors continues here, like I said earlier, 0 carpet inside of here. Now also, that little bonus room that we had seen, you could certainly use that as a media room. And then the one in the basement, more of a game room or something like that. Or, you know, if you can convince your partner, maybe a man cave or a woman cave, decorate it how you want to. You don't have to really worry about any input. You do whatever you please. Now in here you have LED lights, so that's going to illuminate. You know, it's right now it's about 5, 6 o'clock or so. But at nighttime, this room would be lit up. But even with it being, you know, complete daytime, the sunlight out, you still have an abundance of light. Okay, shower tub combo in here, of course, quartz countertops. You see that shiplap material, it looks like, as far as the cabinet door is concerned. And then our pendant lights right above there. So this is our 4th bedroom, as you can see. Similar walk-in closet as the one we had just seen. And this will come full circle because if you look at the front of the house, you saw these little bump outs on the top. So it really was a nice feature as well, but this just kind of comes full circle. You see where that led to. Now you have a additional storage right over here, 2 tankless water heaters, as you can see. Your built-in shelving. And then this will be your 5th and final bedroom. So you got a pocket door again. I'm noticing a lot of the pocket doors, you know, I had gotten a comment. It was almost like every other video, I tell you, when there wasn't pocket doors, and I know they were upset that, that the pocket doors weren't being added in some of these luxury homes, but now I'm starting to see them a little bit more. I just think, you know, and I can see where they would come from, or where they're coming from, talking about the pocket doors, because it's really discreet, it's out of the way, especially if you're not, you know, opening and closing that closet door. You just go ahead and tuck that away and then keep it open at almost all times. So the other 2 were shower tub combos, and then our last but not least is a full walk-in shower. This one has that 0 threshold as well. Got that champagne bronze, massive shower niche in here. And then the tile flooring, and then our beautiful vanity. Again, the quartz countertops, the shaker style white oak cabinetry, pendant light, massive circular mirror with the gold mirror frame. Okay, so we've seen the entire 2nd level, the entire 1st level, and we have the good fortune to see the basement. If you haven't, let me know what you thought about the fitness studio and the cold plunge tub, and of course the infrared sauna. And let me know if you've been in one and what have the benefits been, you know what I mean? Sometimes, especially if you go on Google or you look for advice in there, they tell you what it could or could not do for you, but it's always best to hear someone's personal experience if they've dealt with any benefits. Before we continue, you see our arch doorway right over there. Now let's go ahead and take a look out here. I can appreciate the sunroom as well. You know, other places we've seen the 3 seasons room, but you know, a nice sunroom where you get air conditioning and ventilation is always a plus. Let's open up this door for you. So this one's going to be a Pella door, or Pella sliders. Now heading back out here again, like I mentioned earlier, that is a motorized pergola right there. So you can just go ahead and open that completely up, have your fun in the sun. You see your dining area over here. Continue this way, you see our stucco continues. This one's completely iron fence, is elevated as well. So you still have that privacy. And look at our pool and spa. So just under an acre. Really, whenever you see the front yard, you can see all the space that you get. And then of course it even continues a little bit more over there. But if you have kiddos, you know, plenty of space to work with as far as that is concerned. I know some folks, you know, typically add maybe a tree swing or something like that. So you could do that in the front, but you still have additional space out here. But this is going to be perfect to entertain, have your entire family out here having a great time. You open up those sliders. This will certainly be a blessing. But other than that, family, that was another beautiful luxury home tour. All right, Rankin family, that was it for this beautiful luxury home right here in Nashville, Tennessee. Let me know in the comments what you thought about this particular property. Is this something you could see yourself living in? Would you take advantage of the fitness studio? If so, let me know in the comments below. Of course, if you want more information about this home or any home we showcase, reach out to the information in the description. Consider hitting that subscribe button so you don't miss a tour every single week. And I'll see you folks on the next property tour.